This one's always an interesting one. Look, I know that there's a lot of interesting requests that pro wrestlers get, and whether it's for money or whatever, or customs or whatever, that's not what this is about. It's about kind of going with the theme and what I've been paid to basically verbal eviscerate or so on and so forth. I got offered, it was C, first and foremost. Okay, so the deal is I got a random message one time that said that they would offer this amount of money if I would show up at the wedding and interrupt the actual ceremony. So interrupt the actual ceremony, do it. And I said, hey, like, are you talking about when they're like, we'll do forever hold our peace? And then I come out and I'm supposed to like run down the groom and I'm supposed to run down everything that this wedding shouldn't happen. And then eventually, I guess what they were thinking would happen is I would have a staged moment where like, it never was specified if I was going to actually take a move or supposed to take like a stunner or something like that. But it was that I would get taken out and have to powder out, whatever. Very weird. This would have been in a church, I believe, too. Like, I would have barged in through the door, like Wayne's World style, and been like, I object, and I would run down in the groom and do it. Now, here's the funny part. These are some questions that I asked of this, and real quick. First of all, is this a friend or a family member, somebody I've known for years? The answer is no. This is somebody who went to a wrestling show when I was wrestling in the Chicago area. So first of all, I think when they saw MN, they thought Michigan and thought that this was way more doable because I believe the wedding was taking place more on the like east side of Illinois. This is so anyway, I asked a couple questions. One of the things I said is I was like, so you want me to interrupt? Would anybody be in on this other than you? He's like, just me and the best man. We're huge wrestling fans. I was like, what about your wife? Would your wife know that this is going on? She's like, he goes, no, she hates wrestling. And I guarantee you, she would hate wrestling even more if a pro wrestler, independent pro wrestler, that she doesn't know that her husband, soon-to-be husband, and the best man are the only one in on this, has somebody barge in and says, you know, like, this shouldn't happen, and she's gonna be like, who the hell? And can you imagine your perfect day, your wedding day, and all of a sudden some loudmouth comes in and just ruins it, and you're like, oh, he's a pro wrestler. And then the idea that your husband would come in and like maybe run me off or whatever, and then all of a sudden you'd have to be like, oh, by the way, I staged that, or like, do you play it up as if it was never staged? Now, first of all, if I'm not going to use your name because I want to keep you out of it, but if you're watching this, you never gave me these full answers, and honestly, I really think that the money that you were offering was probably a little low, considering the fact that where you would have wanted me to drive. And I always get a kick out of this because it's like, hey, I watch you on weekends, and I see you wrestle on weekends. Would you mind throwing away a weekend to come and interrupt a wedding? And that was always one thing that was interesting to me. Now, I've gotten a lot of requests since then for other things and crazy things, and I've seen some of like the First Wrestling crew do stuff for like enhance a wedding, but never on the question of ruining it. But if you're going to have somebody ruin your wedding, why not make it Darren Corbin? That's all I gotta say. So the answer is C.